Hello, this is Brad Harvey. Welcome to our Ask the Advisor video series, where we answer your financial questions. Hello, this is Brad Harvey with Harvey Investment Management. Today's question is, what is supply and demand and why is it important? I'm here to tell you that I think that supply and demand is actually the most important concept and law when it comes to investing and understanding finance. Why is that? Well, if you think about it, scarcity and abundance drive most of what we do in our society. So if we have scarcity, things that are running out, like toilet paper, for example, that's going to typically cause prices to rise because there's a lot of demand for that. In fact, even excess demand. The reverse is also true. If you were looking to take a flight in the middle of the pandemic, then there were lots of flights available, but not too many people buying them. So profitability for airlines and airline tickets all went down. And the price for gasoline went down. Why? Less demand. Same supply. The reverse is also true. If we have scarcity of supply and increased demand, prices go up. Now, back in the 70s, our government thought, well, the fastest way to control inflation was actually whip inflation now. WIN was the acronym, and it was basically price fixing, setting a price at which people could charge for certain things, like milk. Well, when they did that, it didn't actually do anything to slow down demand, nor did it do anything to increase supply, so we ended up with sort of a false sense of security while inflation was going up a ton. Those things were taken off in the early 80s. That caused prices to go up rather dramatically very early on, and so our government decided, hey, we need to bring on more supply. That's where the term supply-side economics comes from. So what they did was they broke down trade barriers so that people could bring in more goods to meet that excess demand, therefore slowing down inflation. Inflation is simply just the rise in prices on an annual basis for the things that we consume. And it's actually normal and even healthy to a degree. Too much of a good thing is bad. That can cause problems. But the reverse is also pretty bad. If we have excess supply and not enough demand, prices go down. That's deflation. That was actually the hallmark of the Great Depression. So we have to be very careful of that. So our government, through monetary and fiscal policy, tries to be Goldilocks. Not too hot, not too cold. A little bit of inflation, also known as economic growth or GDP growth, is a good thing. A little bit of deflation is acceptable over the very near term, but it's certainly not something we want long term. So this is Brad Harvey answering today's question about supply and demand and why is it important to us. Thank you for tuning in.